Hi, it's a beautiful day here in Montreal. I'm sitting here on St. Catherine, downtown, in my favorite part of town. It's called Shaughnessy Village, also known as Chinatown number 2, because there's so many great Chinese and Asian, all kinds of Asian restaurants all around, up and down the street. It's really great. I love this area. And I'm here sitting outside because it's a beautiful day. Yes, I know it's a lockdown, but you gotta get some sun, a little bit at least, during the course of the day. And when it's this nice, I think it's 20 degrees today right now, you have to get out. You have to get out and enjoy the day, okay? It's been great working inside, being productive. I've been enjoying this time actually, being inside and having so much time to do everything. But at the same time, you gotta go out, take a little break. So here I am, taking a break, and I wanted to actually take this time to make a small video, quick video. Today I was writing about have you ever had a time when you're working really hard on something? It's like something that you really truly believe that you should do, and you're working very hard, you're putting everything you got, and you're pretty inspired. You have all the thoughts, all the inspirations are coming to you, and you're putting all your effort into this thing. And then as soon as you get this close, you're so close, you're almost there, you stop yourself. You let yourself fall. You let yourself quit. You're so close and you just stop going. You give up. Or you give some kind of excuse that it can't happen, that it's not actually meant to be. Or have you ever had a time when you work really, really hard, you actually get the thing, you actually achieve your goal, you actually get what you wanted in the first place, and then you're just unhappy, or you're so tired, you're just too tired, you can't even enjoy the thing that you really, really, really worked hard for because you're too tired, you're just burnt out, you're just completely spent, you put everything into it, everything, and it doesn't make you happy, you're just totally tired, and it's just too much actually just to even keep going, to keep the thing that you got. It's draining you, you're just completely drained. If that's ever happened, it's possible that you're telling yourself of the wrong story in your head. You have the wrong narrative in your head. You don't have the right story that's actually motivating you to get the things that you want. You don't have the right story to be living by your authentic truth, your authentic self. Perhaps back in the day, a long time ago, you figured something out. You found out this one truth, one little kernel of truth, which helped to explain. It could have been from your mother, father, your family, your friends, your school. Somebody told you, okay? Whatever it was, the world has given you this information where you believed it, and it believed it enough that you made this story around it. You created a narrative which describes and defines your world and who you are, how you fit into the world, and everybody in it. It's defined your world, okay? And this narrative that you've been telling yourself, that you've invested so much of your belief, invested so much of your time and energy, and now you've sort of grown up with that. You're completely invested, okay? And this defines you as a person. And you get expanding enough in this bubble where you fill this bubble up. You fill it up with all that you know, but then you can't get out of this bubble. And when you get outside of it, suddenly all of that thing that you believed in no longer makes sense. Everything that you thought was true no longer makes sense. And this is exactly what's happening if you're not telling yourself the right story. If you don't have the right story, it's not gonna make sense outside of that bubble that you're living in. Outside of this bubble, it doesn't make sense. And it doesn't mean that your truth is wrong. It doesn't mean that your story is wrong. It's just that it doesn't apply outside of this paradigm, okay? It doesn't make sense. That's why when you get to reach the boundaries of it and you want to get out of it, maybe you feel that you want more. Maybe you feel that you deserve more, or you have more to express, you have more to give in your life, or you feel lost, that there should be something more, right? That there should be something more than this. You don't feel completely satisfied. And you reach out, you try to get out of it, but that story that you've invested so much in it keeps pulling you back. It keeps dragging you back into that square, into the circle, okay? Into the bubble, whatever you want to call it. It keeps bringing you back. But you don't want to let it go because it's too scary. If you let it go, what does it mean? It means you have to let go of everything you know. Who you are, maybe your friends even, maybe even your parents. Maybe they don't make sense in this new story that you got to believe in. You have to change your entire story because that story you've been telling yourself doesn't apply to this higher place that you want to go. You want to get to this other place, and the rules are totally different. The rules are completely different. What you think is true right now doesn't apply there. It's completely another game. It's a new ball game. What you're believing in right now and everything that you think is true is only holding you back. And it's really an art to really actually try to be able to let go of that. You can't let go of it unless you have to just let go and stop holding on to the past. You have to be looking at the future. But you have to be brave because you have to effectively just surrender to everything that you thought was true. And you might know somebody who is very stubborn, very, very stubborn, and they don't want to be told. Because effectively, it's so much easier to see this in other people. It's so much easier to see how other people are holding themselves back, you know? And you can kind of see this, what they believe in, which is true in their bubble, but outside of that, like if they wanted to reach the next place, they need to change that. They need to update this story, right? But they don't want to because they're too invested. They don't want to change everything. They don't want to throw everything out the window, which is not true. You don't have to throw everything out. It's that you have to only get a little bit uncomfortable for a little bit of time while you update your program, let's say. All of the story that you told yourself, even the stuff that isn't real. Like the truth you know and the story that you've been telling yourself, there's certain aspects that are true, right? There's certain aspects that are true. But there's a lot of stuff, maybe, that isn't true. It's actually not real, right? It's like assumptions. There's these narratives and stories that you made up, and it's completely made up out of your assumptions. Everything that you think is true, completely assumptions. But it's now written into your subconscious, the program that's running you. The subconscious is running you, and it's running on a thing that's completely based on assumptions. And that's what happens when, let's say, you grow out of that bubble. You're trying to grow out of this bubble, and those assumptions, those things that you thought was true, isn't fitting into reality. It's not actually objectively true. And this is challenging. It messes up your entire belief system, everything that you thought was true. So you see people that are having a hard time letting go of things, or they get very defensive because they don't want to change because it's so uncomfortable. Everything that know or feel to be true would be challenged. And if things are just fine, if things are comfortable enough that you're fine, you have a job, you have your family, you have this many cars, you drive this kind of car, you have this kind of house, you have this kind of job, you have these kind of friends, and things are just kind of okay, then some people will just enjoy that life, and that's okay. Why not? It's their truth. Who are you to say? It's fine. They can enjoy it. You only live once, and if that's what they're satisfied with, then that's totally good. You have no place telling them how to do anything. But if you are one of those people that are feeling like you're stuck, you want more, you feel like you deserve more, or you're working really hard and you get to a place but you're still unhappy. That's the thing, is when you're weak, when you work really hard, okay, and you get to the thing, you get the thing that you wanted, you get the thing, and if you're still unhappy, then you're telling yourself the wrong story. And that's so much worse than if you had this thing that you wanted, and you worked super hard, but you had this thing that you were going after. So you had this reason, it gave you purpose, but then as soon as you got it, you realized that it wasn't actually what you wanted, that doesn't make you happy. Then you had the wrong story. The story isn't actually congruent with who you are, your purpose, your values, your principles, all those things. That's the worst case. Or you could have, you're not sure what you want to do. You're not sure what you want to do, but you're trying really hard. But you just can't get there. You just can't cross this barrier. There's this invisible wall that you cannot get over because maybe you feel like you're not good enough. You don't deserve it. You're not those kind of people. You're not those kind of people that have these things, right? You don't see yourself as them, but that's the wrong story. Maybe you're telling yourself the wrong story. Somewhere in the past, you were put this story in your head, which is not who you are. And it's making you believe that you don't deserve it. You don't deserve this. But what if you do? It's what you really want. It's what you really, really want. And you want to express that. You want to live your life expressing that. You really want this. So effectively, you could either be self-sabotaging, trying to get the thing, but then telling yourself you're not good enough, or you actually get it and you're not happy because the story you've been telling yourself isn't actually your story. Maybe somebody else put it there and it's not actually congruent to who you are. There's so many ways that you could be telling yourself the wrong story and it's just messing up your entire life, that you're actually wasting a lot of time. You're just spinning the wheel in the mud, wasting a lot of time. You could be working so hard for the wrong thing. And if you feel like this is just how I feel about my life. I felt like this for a long time. I've been thinking about these type of things all my life. I'm kind of obsessed with this. I live in my head. I'm completely like that kind of guy who's always thinking too much. A lot of my friends said, you think too much, Ginga. But I can't help it. It's just how I am. Because I never felt like nothing made sense to me. There was always a question like that had to be answered. It didn't make sense, you know? I always had like this existential, almost angst crisis, like permanently, okay? But it's actually effectively, it's actually made me realize a lot of things. It's made me actually answer a lot of questions. And now I can see a lot of things a lot clearly, you know, objectively. It helps. It's been helping, actually. And these are the questions that I always think about. And I love to talk about this. So if these stories resonate with you, if you feel like you're stuck and you're actually being held back, or you cannot get past this wall, or you've worked really hard, but once you got it, you're still not happy. It's still not making you happy. If these stories resonate with you, I'd love to talk to you. Feel free to slip into my DM. You can slip in there whenever you want. I'm around. I love to keep this conversation going. And yes, it's pandemic time, so I have a lot of time. So I have a lot of time to talk with anyone out there who resonates with these type of topics. I love talking about this type of stuff. I'm there for you. If you want to talk, reach out to me, okay? So that's my quick rant today. And I'll hope to do these more often. So yeah, enjoying the nice day out here. I hope you enjoy your day too. I'll see you next time. Bye.